I've been going to music festivals for the past 13 years now.
Yeah.
And I wasn't always a painter. Like in the very beginning of me going to music festivals, I saw stuff like this and I dreamed of doing stuff like this. I
Yeah.
was just like mind blown at how the human brain can perceive such
Yeah.
crazy psychedelicness,
It's kind of like the
honestly.
question I asked you earlier. It's like, how does someone think of this? And it's getting that imagination and dream and vision in your head and bringing it to life.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so
And I've
crazy.
seen them start these collaborations. That's the thing. They started just like how I start my collaborations with other people. They're not talking about it. They're all just kind of just randomly going and doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And then eventually, they gradually start maybe discussing, hey, that looks like this, or hey, that kind of looks like that. What if I add that to this?
Right.
It's kind of just like a free for all at first, and then you slowly start finding
It all
truth in
comes
your,
together. It all comes like full
yeah.
circle. Comes all around
Yeah.
in the end. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everyone, to the Doug Life number 186. Very special episode today. Going to be interviewing my first painter, first artist, and first person with a very long dreads, Chris Fun. Thanks for taking the time to come on here, man. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Appreciate the time to come see me.
The first thing I got to ask is, how long have you been growing your hair out?
Well, I've been growing my hair for like 14, 15 years now, but they have been locked for 10 years.
Okay. Yes. So when I think about, like, there's so many different ways for people to, kind of express their creative self. And I think that it should be a requirement in like everyone's everyday life, whether you do it, through writing, through reading, through creating music. I think it's very important for us to just really exercise that creative muscle that's in our brain. I think it's very good for our mental health. It keeps us, it makes humans just very like innovative. It makes us so we're able to create, the next best thing. Was painting always your way for for exercising your creativity? Or did you start with something else? Did you ever try making music or something different,
No, I've never tried making music or anything, but I used to skate a lot.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's
know.
a good way to do it too. Doing all the tricks and whatnot, and
Yeah. Just any sort of release that kind of gets me out of my head of whatever I'm dealing with in school or something. And, it just allows me to go outside and focus on being better at something else, And, art was, I've always drawn in school, throughout school, like, I always did art, doodled on the pages, on the homework and stuff.
yeah, not paying
But,
attention, just drawing.
Exactly, getting bad grades, but getting really good at art on the pages.
Same.
So,
Only I didn't get good at art.
but I mean, I guess I've always had that artistic spark in me that just like made me wanna, just create something new that hasn't been seen before. And eventually, it just kind of took its role in what I do and like what I pursue.
Yeah,
So,
one of your hobbies turned into like a passion, and then it
yeah.
kind of turned in. It like, have you gotten to the point where it feels like work at all yet? I think that's one of like a
Um,
lot of people's biggest fears when they really want to pursue one of their hobbies and passions, and which is kind of funny because most artists and musicians I talk to, or anyone who's kind of getting into that entertainment or creative world scene, it's not about money, but everyone, like, you got bills to pay, right? Everyone would like to get
right.
like paid eventually, some sort. But some people almost have like this phobia that if they do end up getting really successful, it's gonna, like, your passion for painting is now gonna turn into like work, like, and feel like you're 9 to 5,
Yeah.
and you're gonna lose a lot of motivation and that creativeness that comes with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could definitely see that. And I do see that happening a lot to my friends, like left and right, that do their own type of artistic outlet. In my case, it hasn't quite gotten to that point yet. The only part of work that feels like work when I do this is probably just like the packing and the shipping out, just dealing
Yeah.
with, the order interfacing, and sometimes even I don't know, just the
the
constantly
tediousness of it that comes
tedious.
after.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
tedious stuff. You love
yeah.
creating art, you love
I love the
painting, you know
painting
what I
part.
mean?
Yeah,
But this tedious, oh, now I have to, yeah, package it and ship it and do all that stuff. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I really can't complain because compared to other jobs, what feels like work is work the
Right.
whole entire time doing it. So, I'm very fortunate that I've been able to make this passionate creativity pursuit that I have a way of living as well, and it helps to have the support group that I have that have always been behind me since the very start. Yeah, I'm very grateful of that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, okay, this next question I ask you is kind of big. And if you don't have, I don't think there's really a correct way to answer it. But I think one of the most difficult things any person can do is taking their imagination and what's in their head and then bringing it to real life. Whether it's a sound that a musician's trying to make. In your case, it's like an imagination of like some painting in your head. Do you kind of just start? Do you just pick up the brush and you kind of just go with the flow and let the brush kind of tell you what to paint on the canvas? Or
Yeah, most times I do that, especially when I'm collaborating with people. Um, the way I like to collaborate personally is it's not really talked about. It's just done, And
yeah,
then maybe about like halfway through it or like a quarter way through it, then you could start like discussing, hey, you see that? Let's start like pulling that out. And
right,
that comes, But in the beginning phases, there's no jurisdiction of like whose line is whose and what.
yeah,
But it's like every man for himself, just like start
right.
doing whatever.
Draw a line down the middle of the canvas. All right, this is my side. That's your side. Yeah,
Yeah, no, nothing like that. Yeah, it's more of a hey, feel free to go over my lines and do whatever you see, and vice versa.
yeah. That's
But
cool. It's very communal. It sounds like when
yeah,
you're collaborating with art.
yeah. Sometimes though, it can be like, all right, so I've collaborated with a lot of people, and there are some people that I've collaborated with that it didn't go anywhere. There was too much. It was almost like there was too much ego involved
Yeah,
in the painting that the painting never got to take off because the focus wasn't necessarily on the creativity and the transpiration of the painting as much it was I need to get more lines down than this person, and it
yes,
doesn't matter where these lines are, what color they are, what they look like, they just need to be more noticeable than the other person.
yeah.
And I've had collaborations like that, and I'm just like I'm a very non-alpha male kind of person. So I'm just like,
Me
I
too.
like to just kind of vibe with other people that are just like not really,
Yeah.
like that.
You're
So,
not the type to kind of like really assert yourself,
no,
like in an aggressive way. You seem like a
no,
really chill guy, and I feel like most artists probably like pretty are. Would you
yeah,
say?
definitely. I would definitely say like the majority of artists that I've ever met are usually very laid back, creative, weird people.
Hmm.
They all have a weird sort of niche about them. Rather, if it's the way they dress, if it's the way they act, if it's the way they dance, it's something weird but so catching in such a nice way towards like it makes it attractive to be around that person's essence and all that, just because they have something about them that's just like it's different.
Yeah, it's a
And I
way.
guess it reflects a lot in the paintings.
Absolutely. And as much as we all hate dealing with these egotistical people, I've dealt with like I haven't dealt with too many yet, but I've dealt with some divas with like certain DJs and producers that we've had on the music streams and whatnot. It makes you appreciate the people that you do kind of vibe well with, and you can just like sit down and just have this really carefree sense of when you're collaborating with them on something. Well, you know that they're not going to get upset whether it's something you do if you have a different idea than theirs, and vice versa. So how
Yeah,
long?
definitely.
Yeah. So how long have you been? So you've been painting then total? And have you always kind of had this like, this kind of like this, I don't know, maybe psychedelic for like lack of a better word, kind of festy vibes to your painting, or how would Chris describe his style, if you would even to put a label on it? Because I know some artists don't even like using labels for this stuff.
Uh, I'm not really sure how to describe it, but I've been painting for about 8 years, 8, 9 years now. And no, my style has when I first started, I would dibble dabble in like oil paints. I tried
Nice.
water paints, not like that at all.
Yeah.
Oil paint I really like, but it's kind of a pain in the ass, to be honest with you, because if that gets anywhere on you or anything, say goodbye to that, because that's not coming out. But it's I love the way you can blend colors, and I love the way it looks so much more with oil paint. But I would just experiment with a lot of different kinds of paint, and my style was very
Abstract, kinda, you can say, or
abstract, kind of simple, abstract, just
very colorful.
yeah,
I do
colorful,
like
artsy,
that.
looking. And eventually, I met my friend. His name is Benjamin Reddersdorf, and he is an artist, really, really good artist, based out of Knoxville, Tennessee. And I met him at Bonnaroo in like 2016, and we both worked like Bacon Land together. It was like a little food vendor.
Bacon Land?
And yeah, it's called Bacon Land.
Sounds awesome. I want to go.
We were both talking about how we both like to paint, and we're both painters. And I was like, oh, really? Like he just so happened to have canvases with him back at his car. So when we got off work, we went back to the tents. He was showing me his work, and I was just blown away. I was like, oh my goodness, like you did this with a brush? Like this is all freehand. And after that, I just pretty much fell in love with his style, and he like kind of took me under his wing and taught me a lot of what he knows, and I developed that into my own style, and we collaborated a lot together,
Yeah.
And he's definitely, from there on, I started meeting different artists that were really good that I pretty much did the same thing with, fell in love with their style, fell in love with their personality, and we just bonded and clicked. And is one big thing that has to do with collaboration is, if your personalities aren't syncing together, it doesn't matter how similar you are. It does not matter at all. If you can't vibe together,
yeah, on a mental level.
Yeah, on a mental level,
yeah,
it's not really going to go, And I've noticed that, there have been plenty of times I've collabed with people to where you would think our styles would mesh really well, but didn't mesh as well as it could have,
Right. Right. So we got a message in the chat saying solo adult. He goes, yo, that's some awesome art. I always sent you a link to the art of Chris Fun here to everyone in the chat. So you said something. Do you have anything online from some of your original work we could peep up quick? It'd be cool if we saw some of your first paintings and we could compare them to some of the new ones. If not, it's all good.
I think Instagram.
Okay, here, I'm going to share my screen with you.
Okay, yeah, if you scroll all the way down on.
Okay, give me a second, guys. I'm talking to the chat here. It's gonna look messy for a second. All right, we're going down. We're creeping on Chris's Instagram right now. We're going back to 2010.
Yeah, man, I'm not even really sure what's down there. Like, I would hope there's some like really old work, but I'm not sure if I like all the really old stuff off.
I always like to see the evolution of artists and creators. When you hear, like Jay-Z said it best when he says, if you like my old music, buy my old album. Or I feel like you could say the same thing. If you like my old art, buy my old painting. Okay. We're in 2018. We're gonna go. Have you done a lot of painting?
Was a really good year.
Was it? Have you done a lot of paintings at festivals like this? Did you do that one? This eyeball?
Yeah, it's a collaboration with my buddy Ryan Terrell.
That one's really cool.
Yeah.
Let me zoom in on this a little bit for you guys. So I'm trying to make this screen better for the chat so they can see it.
That's a really old painting.
I'm going to move my camera angle down. Move that over there. All right, there you go, guys. That should give you... Let me know if you guys want me to change anything else, but that gives you a better shot of the painting there. So how many festivals have you been painting at?
I don't even know.
Too many to count by now?
A lot, yeah. There's been a lot of local festivals. Thankfully, my city, Nashville, it always throws down. So there's always something fun to do here. And I'm like constantly getting booked for shows, events, festivals.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really nice.
That's cool. So do they pay you like just if you don't mind me asking?
Um,
Like do when I say that, do you pay you like a flat rate or do you just kind of like you get to sell some of your stuff there and you
yeah,
don't
it's morally how it
yeah.
is. It's kind of like, all right, in order to book me, it's kind of like I'm not going to charge you any money to, like have me out there and whatnot. And I don't expect anything. But in return, I would like to be able to sell my art to make money for traveling out there and being able to, do this. So it's kind of like, for the most part, with a lot of event throwers and organizers, it's an understood thing. Sometimes, artists are thrown into the brackets of just regular vendors that are just vending whatever,
Mhm.
not something that's not really art, like maybe even food, maybe anything. But it's, I don't know, for the most part, we try and kind of like separate ourselves and we're like, no, we are part of the performance. We're doing live art,
Yeah.
you know, we're providing a show for you that goes on with your show.
The
And
EDM
so,
yeah, the EDM scene to my knowledge is the only like festivals and shows that I've seen where they actually do live paintings at. Have you been to any other ones that where it's like more of a rock type of show or any hip
um,
hop festivals where they do live paintings? Me
I've
personally, I haven't. Mine, it's all kind of been in the electronic dance music world, which is interesting.
I mean, it's funny that you say that. Like, yeah, I have noticed that the electronic music scene is one of the main ones that usually uh, invest themselves in live painting as well. But I have live painted for hip hop shows, drag shows, even some country music shows. So it's kind of, I like it. I like the diversity and just different kinds of groups and being able to kind of be a chameleon and blend in with all these different peoples and personalities. But it's definitely more vibey and at home for me personally at electronic music festivals and
Yeah.
shows like.
They just blend well together. I don't know why. It's weird. There's something that's so unique, and there's a chemistry there with live art and painting and electronic dance music. I have this picture put up right now. It reminded me of a Pokeball. I know that's not what it is, but that's what it reminded me of. So I thought it was really cool. And I wanted to click on it. It says psychedelic egg piece. Do we remember doing
Yeah,
this bad boy?
yeah, this is all right. This piece is actually my very first collaboration I ever did with my friend Ben that I was
Really?
telling you about.
Nice. Wow, cool. What are the chances?
This is
Pull
when he
that one
was
up.
first showing me how to use spray paint and stencils and oil paint and acrylic all in one.
Wow, so that is all three. That's spray
That's
paint.
all. That's aerosol, acrylic, and spray paint all in one, and or acrylic, aerosol, and oil paint all in one. In my head, I always thought if you do an oil painting, it has to be an oil painting. If you do acrylic painting, it has to be acrylic painting.
Yeah.
I didn't never really thought of the fact that you could just mesh different mediums with each other
Right.
and create depth and 3D effect and layering and all that. So
Yeah. The layering on this does look great. Like when I'm looking at it, I see okay, with these lines right here going down, like I see a layer right there. Then I see another layer with the black. And then I see these dots going under it. And then yeah, it's pretty very impressive how you can add just so much depth to a flat surface.
yeah.
I love how you're humble enough to go out and meet other people and learn from their own style. I think that is the key to really getting yourself to the next level. I feel like we can only teach ourselves so much, no matter what we do, but we have to collaborate and learn from our friends, learn from people around us, learn some new tricks. And you have to have like a little bit of humility and humbleness to do that. Like if you're too egotistical, like you're saying that, you're going to feel like you're better than everyone. You're not going to want to kind of learn from any of their styles. Speaking
Right,
of depth,
exactly.
I like the layering in this one, how it's kind of like you're looking in to that one.
Yeah. That's another one with me and Ben. Hey, but to what you were saying about that, it's definitely true. Like to be able to go out and kind of just meet other people and take a page from what they're doing and incorporate it in your own. You have to step outside your comfort zone. You have to just kind of just like
talk
know,
less and listen more in those
exactly.
situations, you know, is
Yeah.
a good way to put it.
Yeah. My older brother once told me that some of the best artists in the world will have like 5 or 6 paintings, and you would never be able to tell that all 5 of those paintings are done by the same person because their art is so different,
Mm,
you know?
that's
Because
a good one. I
when you're
like that.
constantly, yeah, when you're constantly picking up different styles, you're always getting outside your comfort zone and learning different things that you can incorporate to different styles that you've already learned and enhanced. And it just gradually makes an everlasting flow of just like ability to just keep doing things over and over, like in different ways. But when you're just constantly sticking to the same style over and over and over with just minor slight variations of maybe color, palette, or just slight things, you can get really, really good at that one particular style. But then if you're ever put in a position to where you had to quickly adapt to somebody else's style that you're collaborating with, that you're not used to this style, you're gonna kind of be,
Yeah.
lost.
You're going to
And
plateau early too.
yeah, yeah,
In it that way. I love this kind of like this one right here, kind of pops out at you. You remember this one?
yeah.
Is this another one with your buddy Ben? Or
No,
this?
this one is all me, and this one
Nice.
is another one that's oil paint, aerosol, and acrylic.
How long do these ones kind of take? What's your average? I'm curious too. I mean, they
Uh,
must take hours, I would imagine.
I mean, yeah, I have different varies. Like I have some paintings that have taken me 2 to 3 years, and then
Okay.
I have some paintings that have taken me 2 to 3 days, 2 to 3 hours. Like it very ranges.
Yeah. What do you
This
think?
one is also
Yeah,
man, Ben.
I love this one. Did you ever watch any Bob Ross? Watch any of his old
Yeah, yeah,
stuff? I always call him, he's the original streamer, that I say. He's the fun I think about it. He was the pioneer streamer. He was the first one to just film himself talking about shit while he was, just doing his thing while he was painting.
yeah. I constantly I get asked if I have like any sort of Twitch or something like that, just to like see a full painting from beginning to end,
Yeah.
start, and just kind of like what goes into it. And I've always wanted to do it. I haven't done it simply because I don't think I have the I guess the equipment to like prop one up and just
Yeah.
like do the
You can
full
do what you
thing.
want. I
Um,
think you got a smartphone, dude. That's good enough. See, with something
yeah,
like that, people, you don't need all this fancy cameras or these fancy microphones or anything. People just want to see you work, see you in, in your environment and see your workflow of things. I definitely check it out if you ever do something. Art's really a really popular channel on the Twitch one. Do you like
yeah.
what's your opinion of Bob Ross? Can I ask? Do you like
Oh,
him?
I,
Love him?
yeah, I love Bob Ross. I love his style, and I love how quickly he can knock out something that would honestly take me like hours, days. So that the type of detail he puts into his paintings is the type of detail that I would have to go to sleep and come back to, and like have a dream about it, and then finish on how to do it. He just knocks it all out in like a good like 20, 30
Yeah, he
minutes.
does. And he's dropping one-liners the whole time. You ever make
Yeah,
mistakes in life? It's all good. Let's just make those mistakes in the birds. See, they're birds
yeah.
now. I think
Yeah,
that's my favorite one.
someone once told me Bob Ross said to uh, talk to a painting like you're talking to your lover.
Yeah.
You you talk to a painting and you paint on a painting like you're making love to it, and that is it's it's really true when you think of it and you're really in the zone painting. However, you're in the zone, whether if it's jamming down to music and just
Yep.
like slinging paint around,
Yep.
or if it's just like you like focusing really hard and kind of like unmasking yourself in the painting itself. You really do find yourself just almost one with it and just in love with just every stroke you do, whether if it's a happy accident or a purposeful mistake. I don't know. It's weird to think about.
Yeah, you're so hyper when you get so hyper focused on things, it's almost like you lose just track of time. You're not thinking about your phone or anyone other than you and your painting or whatever it is that you're focused on. What's is this you on one of them here? Look
No,
at
no,
this
no, no.
giant piece.
This is some of my biggest inspirations right here. Painting at Electric Forest. I believe this is Morgan Mandala, Randall Roberts. I think Sweet Melissa, and I think that's it. Maybe Della Artist as well.
Yeah.
But this is them just getting down at Electric Forest in 2016,
Okay,
maybe
nice.
it's either 16 or 17. Yeah, I love these artists. I see them out at a lot of different festivals that I go to, and it's from seeing stuff like this. I've been going to music festivals for the past 13 years now,
Yeah,
and I wasn't always a painter. Like in the very beginning of me going to music festivals, I saw stuff like this, and I dreamed of doing stuff like this. I
yeah.
was just like mind blown at how the human brain can perceive such crazy psychedelicness,
It's kind of like the
honestly.
question I asked you earlier. It's like, how does someone think of this? And it's getting that imagination and dream and vision in your head and bringing it to life.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so
And
crazy.
I've seen them start these collaborations. That's the thing. They started just like how I start my collaborations with other people. Is they're not talking about it. They're all just kind of just randomly going and doing their own thing.
Yeah,
And then eventually, they gradually start maybe discussing, hey, that looks like this, or hey, that kind of looks like that. What if I add that to this?
right.
It's it's kind of just like a free for all at first, and then you slowly start finding
It all
truth in
comes
your
together.
like,
It all comes like full
yeah,
circle, comes all around
yeah.
in the end. And then you have other people that within the first 5 minutes are over there like looking at your show could be like, oh no, don't do that. Do it this way. It's gonna look way better like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Have you
yeah.
been to Lost Lands? That's
I
my
have
favorite.
not.
Oh, dude, you gotta go to Lost Lands. Do you like
I get told
dinosaurs?
that a lot. Yeah.
You like
I'm.
dinosaurs? You can make some sick like dinosaur painting while you're out there.
Mhm. Yeah. I say one of my favorite festivals that I've been to is Fractal Beach, and it happened in like the Virginia Keys in Miami, Florida, and it was just. I've never been to a festival that pretty that was on a tropical beach that like you could just walk in the water and there was starfish and seahorses floating around.
Yeah.
And they had a stage on the beach that you could be swimming in the water while listening to your favorite music.
Damn.
And
I need to go to that festival.
yeah, there is rumors that they are going to have another Fractal Beach in the works here soon. So keep your ears out for that one.
Okay, I definitely know. I really like the idea or the imagery. I like how you guys got a database, like kind of computer chip right here, like CPU, and then it goes into
Oh
like a
yeah,
grid with just the single tree in the middle. Like there's
yeah,
some like the symbology kind of behind it.
yeah.
Oh,
I call this piece digitalism, and it's basically in my head, it's kind of like a organic computer chip that's
yeah,
digitizing
yeah.
like a little organism.
I love it, dude. Like, and
Yeah.
it's so easy for us to like forget about just nature nowadays. We're so distracted with all these damn gadgets.
Yeah, I definitely think that I love hiking. I grew up outdoors a lot, and I think that me being immersed in the outdoors all the time has definitely reflected on what it is I choose to paint. Yeah,
It's just you. Here's a picture of you in action right here.
yeah. This is me and an artist named TK doing a graffiti party at a club in Nashville.
Let's see what. Oh, look at this bad boy. Swamp gas. Kind of looks like there's a face in there you're going for with the clock.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, what would you say is some of your most, I don't know, memorable work in paintings that you've done? Oh, I really like the blue and red with this one.
Yeah. This one is by an artist named Jeremy Valdez and myself, and me and him. I love painting with that dude so much. He's just like one of my best friends, and we would have nights where we just stay up all night, just like getting drunk and just like goofing around, just constantly painting and messing up that painting on purpose just to go back and repaint it again in a different way.
Yeah.
And then we'll mess it up again and just like keep like messing with each other like that until we're eventually bored of it and it's done and it looks something like this,
Yeah.
And it's like,
It's a beautiful mistake, You keep
yeah,
messing it up, but at the end of like it just looks great at the end of the day.
yeah, exactly.
It's almost like mistakes are necessary in art, you could say. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead. Let's switch over to your website here, The Art of Chris Fun, that you guys been working hard. You were telling me about to get up and running here.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead. So let's go and talk about. Which one would you? Well, I'll let you choose. You want to go into the fashion, the prints, the overall,
Let's
the
go into
overall
the
like
fashion.
vision of the website. Yeah, and
Yeah,
I'll send
so
this
I've
link in the
been
chat too one more time for you guys. What up, Stork Kelton? He says fire, first time chatter. Thanks for joining us, man.
mhm.
Let's go check out some prints. I want to check out some prints here, right? If you don't mind. So is this all like you and like kind of your collaborations with people here on your website?
Yeah. This is all my work, and some of these are collaborations with different artists that I've done with. But the prints, that's actually the one thing that I am still. There's a lot of prints that I have to upload
Sure.
and kind of give a description of and everything. But the prints are definitely something that I have listed on my website. I used to just kind of go around show to show with like a little print stand, have all my prints in there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the only place that I would really ever sell prints is just like in person, really. Yeah, now I have it on here, so it makes it so much easier for people to go and get the prints that I have online, even when they see me in person and I'm sold out of that print because the person in front of them bought the last one. But I could always direct them to my website and be like, hey, I have more images.
It's really cool. Did you is this some of your art too? Put on
This is all my art. Yeah,
on clothing? Wow, that's really
painted
cool.
this painting on a painting, and then I made clothing out of this image.
Nice. That's so. It's really cool how art can just be like easily liquidated into fashion. How you can create something on a canvas and now someone's walking around with your painting on their body.
I got to tell you, I never really dreamed of that in like a million years. Like it wasn't really even something that I ever really thought about, But now I'll be walking around Nashville. Nashville's a pretty big city.
It is.
I'll be walking around Nashville and I will see people left and right with my art on, whether if it's a pair of shorts or a jacket or a t-shirt, whatever the article of clothing, I see it. And, it always just like, it just puts me in an instant good mood of whatever mood I'm in, because it's just, you can't be not in a good mood after seeing that, Like,
no.
It's very nice to see.
So we got glitch down, button down. So yeah. I really like the vibe on this one here. Kind of like the city building on here.
Yeah.
I'm going to go down. We got some mask here, it looks like.
Yeah, I have some face masks, face masks, stickers, some random stuff. I've been doing more like limited edition kind of clothing.
There you go. Yeah. Limited edition art too. Maybe do you do that at all? Like kind of design a painting and then only sell like, X amount of it?
Yeah, I mean, there's canvas prints on there of a painting called Cerebral Calibration that is okay. So these ones are here. These little squares. These are all one of a kind.
Yeah, this one's really cool. Did you paint? Yeah, did you make this or you just paint it? Did you do everything?
I just painted it. So there's a guy that makes these mushrooms, these fungi mushrooms, and he ships them out to different artists like myself, and we will paint it and then ship it back to him. And then it goes in a fungi exhibit that he goes around to different festivals with like a bunch of these fungi painted by different artists, and they're all displayed at his exhibit. Yeah.
That's awesome. Look at that, dude. He is sweet. I want to go back to some of these ones here. So these are these pocket canvases? So these are like mini ones, it looks like?
Yeah, these are like just mini canvases, mini one of a kind, like,
Dang, did you paint that? Just that little like 1 inch by 1 inch canvas, it looks like?
Yeah, it's like 2.75 inches by 2.75. But yeah. So my buddy Luke, he started doing this a while back, and me and him would hang out a lot, and it kind of got me just interested in, the notion of the fact that this is all like, it's like a trading card game.
Yeah.
For artists, you know, like everybody, these are all one of a kind. And if you like this one by this artist, this one by this artist, you could just be like, yeah, I'll trade you like 2 squares for that 1 square.
Yep.
Stuff like that. And it's kind of,
it's like Pokemon cards.
Exactly. Yeah. Except you have an original one of a kind piece of art that could be worth something one day, depending on whoever the buyer is, because it's only a one of a kind.
Yeah, whoever decides on it. No, I love that idea of it. You know, I would love to go and collect a bunch of these from you and like a bunch of some of your other painters, honestly.
Man,
So
I have a buddy named Grant. He has, I don't know how much. I think he has like 12 of these from me, and he's making a big like mural board of just these mini squares he's collected throughout the years from me.
as he's stacked up. Like, can I ask you a question? If you don't have to answer it if you don't want to, do you dabble with like psychedelics or anything like that?
Yeah, yeah, I do. Not as much as I used to, but I
Yeah.
still do it.
No, same here. I think that like ever since my first time doing mushrooms and DMT, like the geometrical like shapes and figures that I've seen doing that, that's what really opened up my probably like brain the most to like just like creativeness and like the way you just look at the world differently and whatnot. Have you ever? I want to transition that to if you ever like painted on anything on any psychedelics at all.
Yeah, I have. It's very hard to paint on it when
Yeah,
you're like peaking,
yeah,
but usually the come down whenever like things have started to settle down and you just have that afterglow about you, that is prime time to paint
okay,
because you still have all the psychedelic doors open in your brain of these different thoughts and ideas. You're calmed down enough to where you can actually you have coherent thought and movement.
yeah.
You can actually focus on what it is you're doing and pick up a pencil and start doing this, and your palms aren't as sweaty, and you're just you're good. You can actually be yourself, but also have this higher vibration of thought going on right now.
Yeah, you have this higher. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Have a higher vibration of thought. You don't want to do it when you're tweaking. Have you ever
No,
done that?
I
And then
mean,
you wake up the next day and you look at your and you look at the painting that you did.
I've definitely done that before, and you know, in the moment, it looks crazy good. You're like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be
Yup,
like the next
yup.
Picasso." Holy shit! And then next morning, you wake up and you're like, "Oh goodness,
Okay,
like wow,
let me
I really
just
fucked that one up."
yeah, let me just throw that away. We'll go ahead and restart again. Oh, let's go into. I love how they look so good on just like leggings and hoodies. I actually really like this purple one.
Yeah. Hey,
This
so
one
that
looks
is
really cool.
that's my first ever digital piece I've ever done. So I'm very proud to be able to have taken my first digital piece I've done on Procreate and just immediately put it onto a reversible jacket. So
Yeah.
it's that on one side, and on the other side, it's all black
Okay.
with just my brand on it, Fractal Spirit.
Okay.
I
Nice.
don't know why it's not. There's no pictures of the other side. I gotta fix
Wait.
that.
Hold on. Maybe there is. There we go.
Oh wait,
Ah,
yeah, there
there's
we
an
go.
arrow down there.
There
There we
we go.
go. Nice. Yeah. No, that's really cool.
Yeah,
So you created that on the computer originally first?
yeah. I created that with my iPad on Procreate, and after I was done making it, I, sent it to my manufacturer, and he sent me a mocked up version of how it would look, and we kind of fiddled around with the placement on the jacket. And then after that, I was like, yeah, that looks really good. Like, let's do it. So
Yeah, I love how it's reversible. Now, did you do this with the stylist? What was that really difficult for you? Someone
yeah,
who's so used to doing, like doing paint brushing on the canvas and then you're drawing on the tablet.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's a funny story actually. So thankfully, I have such an awesome support group of friends around me. My buddy Alex Shoemaker just really wanted to see me start doing digital stuff. I've always had a weird kind of negative outlook on digital art. In my head, I kind of always viewed it as like it's kind of cheating.
yeah,
The fact that you're not really mixing the paint, you can
it's
always hit the backspace and undo what you just did.
yeah.
It's
No,
it's
that's
kind of like
you make a lot of good points.
you know,
You can make the perfect line so
yeah,
easily. The
exactly. The
perfect
perfect
blend of color.
circles.
Yeah, perfect gradient of colors. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But after a while, getting to dive into it firsthand and understand that there's a whole nother technicality of painting and I guess mastering the piece, the like as a whole that you don't get to do when you do traditional arts. So in a way, it's the parts that kind of the parts that are weird to me are kind of made up by the other parts that are more sophisticated that you have to learn. It's a whole nother learning curve.
It is.
So, that part, it made me start having much more respect for digital art and digital artists out there. And I'm very glad that my friend Alex Shoemaker decided he just really wanted to see me do digital art. So one day he just gave me a bunch of money and he was like, I want you to go to the Apple store and buy yourself an iPad
Nice.
Air
That's
and
cool.
start, making digital art. So I was like, wow, thank you. I'm super grateful of that. So I did, and I'm loving it. I'm liking it a lot, and I'm still learning, definitely,
Yeah.
but it's opened up a new realm for me.
Yeah, and new possibilities too. I feel like you said, it when we're going back to the beginning, it's learning different styles. See, the thing is, at the end of the day, whether you're making it on a canvas or you're doing it on a computer, you're still trying to create something. I think the goal is still the same, right? No matter whether you're a digital artist or a painter like yourself.
Yeah,
And dude, this
and I gotta say that when you can actually take a piece that you hand painted and get a good image of it
yep,
and then upload it to Procreate and then digitally enhance that piece that you originally hand painted, really does kind of, it doesn't feel like cheating as much because it's like, hey,
yeah,
I still,
right.
that was still done with my own hand on a paintbrush on canvas. And now I just like pretty much like enhance it with steroids and now
Yeah.
it's going crazy.
Yeah. Look at this giant painting. This is really cool. Was this some of your buddies, or was this a big collective piece?
Yeah.
Did you
So
help
this
it out with this, or?
Yeah, I did. So this painting right here is actually done by me and a guy named Bryce Lawrence and Bryce Luan, and he lives in California now. But that was all four of those people right there, me included, are part of Big Dog Collective. It's a collective that we started together, and we just like kind of did mini festivals, but we all went as Big Dog Collective instead of individual names
Cool.
trying to go as ourselves.
Yeah.
So it was nice. That collective, two of the members moved away. They're living out west now, and so it's kind of dissipated a little bit, but we're
You guys are
friends.
still with each other at heart.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what matters at most. And then going back, see, one thing I've learned, dude, about going back to the Procreate stuff, dude, some of the software nowadays really humbles people when you first start getting into it. Fuck me I suck when it comes to just making Excel spreadsheets and whatnot. It's easy to think that when you go on the computer, it's like, oh, someone can easily do this, and then you actually start using the software, and you're like, whoa, this is actually way more difficult than I thought it was.
Yeah, definitely.
I like this big piece of you.
Yeah, so this one is done by Luke Schroeder, Benjamin Reddersdorf, and myself. We collaborated on this one at a festival called Innovate Festival. It's a festival my buddies from Metanoia are put on. And I remember before we started this painting, it was like maybe like 9-10 p.m. We were all like around a campfire, and we think we were all drinking mushroom tea. We were all like sharing the same like fat brew of mushroom tea. And after that, we all looked at each other and we're like, all right, boys, let's go get on that canvas and see what we can come up with.
Yep.
And so, we went and unwrapped this white canvas, and before you knew it, we just started just like throwing down on this piece. And every 30 minutes, we would rotate the piece and switch positions with each other. Okay. And so we did about 6-7 hours straight. We'd just keep rotating it. And so eventually every single line on there had a piece of
each person's
line. Yeah. Everything, was gone over by everybody. So it formed into this incredible piece, which is known as the Cosmic Totem.
It says entering magnetic totem manifold.
Magnetic totem manifold. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, entering the magnetic totem manifold, and those names are usually came up with Luke Schroeder. He's the mastermind behind those names.
I love how there's like a little window right here. It kind of seems like, it's like this is all there, and then there's like a break in the window, and then you see a planet out in the distance.
Yeah. See the very middle.
Yep. I was about to say something about that next.
So that's like
see if I can get closer in on it.
It's like a little landscape with the sun coming up, but if you turn that painting completely to the right, it is a face kissing the sun.
Okay, this one right here.
Yes.
Yeah. Was it-
Yeah. Now, like, take your phone and like turn it upright, and
Okay.
you can see
I'm
the
on.
eye.
I'm using my computer monitor, but now I wish I could. When I'm gonna pull it up on my phone though and do it.
Okay.
I'd have to grab my whole computer monitor and do that. I'd end up breaking something. I love how every painting I pull up of yours, you just it's like you instantly remember who you made it with, what festival you made it at, what year it
Oh,
was.
yeah.
Like it
Yeah. It
shows
gets,
that
gets
you're
a little
really
significant.
how passionate you are and like just how much you value just the friendships and all these collaborations you made. It's really special, dude. Like I
Thank you.
appreciate that a lot. I feel like there's probably a lot of people who've done so many collaborations that maybe have a hard time remembering who they've created that piece of art with.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely remember who I create my art with because, like I said, I usually bond very hard with these people before I ever collaborate with them. I share some sort of uh, nice bonding experience with them. Rather if it's camping in the woods, going and dancing in the crowd and just like dancing with them, not even knowing who they are until
Yeah.
after, and then like having the best time, and then getting down on a painting later on when we find out we both like to do art. It's usually it's very different but very memorable with each person I club.
Absolutely. Do you have a certain kind of music that kind of puts you in the zone, you feel like, when you're at these festivals?
Uh, yeah, I do. So a lot of these festivals I go to it's a lot of just bass music, and
Yeah. Kind of, do you
like
like
I'm
that?
down with that. Like I don't mind that at all, but that's not what I paint to by any means. I paint to like I like more chill ambient stuff, maybe even some like jazz or like some like nice piano playing,
Yeah.
something relaxing and calm, not something that's just like break your neck,
Yeah.
headbanging.
Not the rail breaker shit, but maybe something
Yeah,
more
yeah.
like more of a deep dub kind of thing, slow pace, maybe like some house music, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Oh, I love house music. I can get down to some good house music and paint
Same
for
here.
sure.
I can listen to house music all day, every day. I can't listen to dubstep all day, every day, but like
No,
house music is it's one of those things that you can just vibe to all day.
yeah, yeah, house music for sure. Um, that being said, there's a few artists actually that I really like. If I were to give you three names of like three of my top favorite producers that make music out there,
Yeah, please do.
I would, I would say Ott as the first one, spelled OTT, and he's from England, and he makes some incredible music. And he actually came to play in like some backwoods festival in Tennessee, and I actually got to meet him, and he bought a painting from me, and that was like a dream come true because this is a guy I would never think to see in America, let alone meet in a crowd of people because of just who he is. And yeah, it was a treat by
Yeah,
far.
that sounds like a special moment too. Especially you already, it's kind of you kind of like look up to him in a sense for him create for
Yeah.
the music he creates, and then for him to appreciate something that you create so much, he actually want to purchase it from you.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, man, I can't tell you how much I listen to your music while I'm in my studio just creating art.
Yeah,
And to have you want to buy one of my pieces to put in your studio while you're
right.
creating music is just like full circle, just like insanely amazing. And so I was very fortunate to have that experience in this life. And yeah, another one of my favorite musicians is I really like Tipper. I like the kind of music he makes. It's He's definitely inspired a whole different culture of musicians that make that kind of music that I'm very grateful of because there's a lot of them out there that are just really good.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
it's almost 4 o'clock here, buddy. I wanted to I had a man. This hour flew by. I had a great time talking to you. But I just want to leave
Yeah,
maybe.
I had a great time talking to you too.
Yeah, I want to leave. I want to leave. I don't want to just quite yet. I just want to do maybe like 5-10 more minutes. Guys in the chat, any questions you have for Chris? And then Chris, anything else that you'd like to mention? Any more artists you like to plug? Whether it's whether they're musicians or some of your painters, and anything that you like would not want us to touch base on before you end it. And I also want to ask you about this painting because this one looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, this is done by a group of us. Me, my friend Alex, my friend Bryce, Sam, and Jeremy. Yeah, we all had a hand in this one. But yeah, I'd like to give a huge shout out to one of my best friends. His name is Jason Stork, and he helped me create my website that we've been working very hard on to be able to launch today. So it was awesome being able to get to talk about it live with you on this podcast.
Yeah. Hey, dude. The start, it ended up working out, right? Because the day we did it, the same day the podcast ended up launching.
Yeah.
It's great for all the chat. Where can we buy merch? I will send you his link to it right there, Skolton. It's at the chrisfund.art, and I'll also send you guys the Instagram so you can check out some of his other stuff over there as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, Stork, for joining us here. Yeah, any other questions or any other guys like in the chat that you guys want to ask myself or Chris here? And then Chris, anything else too that you'd like to bring up that we feel like we didn't touch base on? Or maybe a message to any other like painters out there, people who are like trying to create, struggling. I remember I want to ask you. So the writer's wall, every creator has it with music, writing. Is there a painter's wall where you're just going through it?
We call it a painter's block.
Painter's block. Okay.
Painter's block. Yeah. So that's actually, it's funny that you mentioned that because that was what I was going to give advice to for any up and coming artists out there. Whatever the art is that you do, when you hit these painting blocks, when you hit these artistic blocks, it's very important that you realize that this is not you plateauing and this is as good as you're ever going to get. Time to find a new hobby to finagle with. This is your brain basically saying, all right, I have accumulated all the knowledge that I could fit into this chip. Now let me rest and have some dreams and new thoughts about different ideas that I can create along these lines of what I'm doing. And then let me fill up another chip to basically keep adding more storage. So it's not you ever over accumulating, like too much information and that's the best you're going to ever get. It's important that you stay focused on it. Take a break. Do not be afraid to take a break. Don't make it such a habitual thing that you eventually grow to hate it, because that can happen with anything. So take breaks and work on your own time. It's an art. You should enjoy doing what you're doing. And it's never something that you should feel, any obligation to be forced to do when you don't want to do it. That being said, with commission paintings, I turn down a lot of commission paintings.
Yeah.
As I think that any artist should turn down something that you're not comfortable to work on because you want to do something because you love to do it and not because this is your job. You're an artist. You're supposed to be able to do this or this or this, So.
And it's good. I feel like you're keeping yourself to those standards and your own principle when turning down a lot of commission paintings. Because I imagine there's a deadline when it comes to those. And then you kind of feel rushed in this sense of urgency, to get the painting done. And who knows, life is always coming at us to a different angle. So who knows if something can happen in life. And the quality of your work could end up like going down, because you didn't have, the time to fully put into it because you felt like rushed on getting it. So that's really cool that you do turn down a lot of commission paintings to keep true to your principle, man, dude, and keep those standards high.
I do, yeah, and it kind of honestly it keeps your work just original, because that for this person to want to get that piece of artwork, they have to contact this artist because this artist is the only artist that does this style of artwork, and so it keeps yourself reputable. And don't be afraid to just say no.
Yeah, exactly. Here's another one of these little things that you painted. The fun guys.
Fun guys, yeah.
I love those little dudes. All right, man. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap it up on that note, dude. A little bit past 4. Dude, I could sit here and just go through your and click on. I can honestly just sit here and click on your pictures and just listen to you tell me like the story behind them. You're a natural, man. I love like you got a really nice, calm voice, dude. It's soothing. Like, and just to hear you talk about your work and passion, man. I'm glad we made this happen, dude. And I hope to talk with you again and hear more about your journeys and see more of your artwork and see where Chris Fun goes. Stork, thanks for tuning in. Ben, thanks for tuning in. Solos, thanks for tuning in. Everyone else, thanks for tuning in, guys, so much. Chris's chrisfun.art. The links in there that I sent to the chat where you can buy any of his merch, and along with the Instagram that I put in there as well, you can go ahead and just like check out any of his paintings. And the Portal of Fun group, that's kind of big collaboration of you guys.
Yeah, the Portal of Fun group is it's a group my friend Aram Kumali, he actually helped me with, and we started this little group, and it's just like a page for my artwork and just stuff featuring my art on that group.
No, anything else you'd like to say to the chat, Chris, before I turn it off?
I really appreciate everybody that tuned in. It means a lot to me, and thank you for your time, Doug. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you, Chris, and thank you guys in the chat. I'll see you guys soon. 9 Shoots of Doug Life. The Doug Life chose me.
See you later.
Okay, hold on.